Tonight, inside the appeal of the Kitchener Encampment ruling, how the region is arguing that a judge made a mistake. Turning up the volume about a radio station that's gone silent.
Like so many people in the community, I was really quite shocked.
Reaction to the sudden shutdown of a local fixture.
So now we're losing that voice in the community.
Plus, the wider impact.
It creates more space for mis and disinformation
On the media landscape. Also, hanging up the helmet after blazing a trail.
I got hired July 1st of 1991, and I was the only woman on the department at that time.
The first female firefighter in Cambridge reflects on a groundbreaking chapter. Good evening. We have some new details tonight on the legal saga between the Region of Waterloo and residents of the downtown Kitchener encampment. Court documents now outline how the region plans to argue the judge made a mistake in a recent ruling that prevented them from clearing the site. CTV's Jeff Pickle following this for us tonight. We should note, Jeff, this has been going on for 5 years. First of all, though, walk us through the recent points on this timeline of how we got here.
Well, Tony, the region first went to court back in 2023 when a judge ruled the region could not carry out a planned eviction on the site. The region drafted up a new, more specific bylaw to try and clear the site and went back to court earlier this year. But a second judge again ruled the region was in violation of the charter rights. Now the region is ready to appeal that second ruling. Back in May, a judge says until the region can offer people living at the encampment a place to go, it's a charter violation to force them off. Recent court filings now show how the region plans to appeal that ruling. According to the region, the judge did not properly take into account the details of the new bylaw, arguing the site-specific and amended bylaws had a different scope, purpose, and effects than the general purpose bylaw, applicable throughout the regional municipality at issue in persons unknown. They also say the Section 7 right to liberty protected an individual's choice to reside on a specific property of which they are not an owner or tenant. Another argument that the judge did not give proper weight to the Kitchener Central Transit Hub, the reason the region needs access to the space. The region's filing saying the judge was wrong to call the benefits speculative. Both the Region of Waterloo and the Waterloo Community Legal Services have no comment at this time. This is a process that will likely take several months to play out, ultimately landing back in the court with the two sides squaring off for a third time. Tony.
All right, more to come on this as we learn how the region plans to appeal that ruling. CTV's Jeff Pickle, thank you for that report tonight. And time for a first check on the weather. Let's head over to Ashley Bacon in our studio with the latest. A thought that you mentioned yesterday came back to mind today, and that is the moment the sun comes out, boy, does it ever feel hotter. And then we've got these breezes that have been kind of breaking it up nicely in between.
It's been spectacular, in my opinion, Tony, and you're right. As soon as that sun comes out from that cloud cover, it is instantly 10 degrees hotter. It feels like it. Not really 10 degrees hotter, but definitely feeling a lot hotter than it actually is. The great news is we're in for another few hours of sunshine before the sun sets. Now, we could see some rain tomorrow and potentially Friday, but by the weekend, things are already shaping up to be beautiful again. But let's focus on what's happening right now. Taking a look at our satellite, not a lot going on in the way of precipitation around the region just yet, but as I mentioned, spotty showers expected to start to fall through the overnight hours and then into your Thursday. Right now, it's 29 degrees out there, a west by northwest wind of 11 kilometers an hour, so just an ever so slight breeze out there. Nothing to write home about, but 34, feeling closer to 34 with the humidex. So, Tony, overall, the temperatures are going to continue to be warm over the next couple of hours, so get out and enjoy it because we are going to see things taper off a little when the rain arrives tomorrow.
Okay, we've got to get through that before we get to the weekend. Thanks, Ash. Appreciate it. One day after longtime Kitchener radio station 570 News Radio suddenly went silent, people around the community are sharing thoughts loudly and clearly. Kitchener's mayor, for example, saying he feels angry and betrayed at the loss of the voice. CTV's Colton Weens reports.
A day since news broke that Rogers Sports and Media shut down 570 News Radio in Kitchener, tuning to the channel today only met with static. On Tuesday, listeners heard a final farewell in a recorded message as the station that has served the Waterloo region area for decades was taken off the air.
Today is the last day 570 News Radio will be on the air.
Local listeners and leaders across the community quick to share their disappointment over the decision.
I think when it really hit me was this morning. I forgot to change the station last night, and I woke up to the sound of static this morning, and it was sad. Like, it really was sad.
Rogers says the decision was made due to declining audience numbers and revenue trends, but coverage will continue on their website. Kitchener's mayor, sad, angry, and betrayed by the decision, leaving the community without a constant voice on the radio.
It's been a critical source of reliable, trusted news in the community, a place for good civic discourse on issues that had some controversy in the community, and also really a source of community and national pride, whether it was Rangers games or Blue Jay games.
He was even better than before, and he led this team.
The Kitchener Rangers say games have been broadcasted on 570 News Radio since the 1990s. Chief Operating Officer and Governor of the team, Joe Birch, telling CTV News in a statement they will be investigating all options going forward for broadcasts. Birch says fans deserve the opportunity to follow from wherever they can and have, as done in the past.
You think of my good friend Mike Farwell, and for years, Mike, along with old friends that I used to work with. It was the place to go to find out what was going on in your community. And now we don't have that voice anymore. So where do people go? There's going to be a big void.
Former broadcaster Rob Reeford was with 570 Chime from 1981 to 87 before the All News Radio came along.
I've always found in radio, radio is companionship. And missing a companion that you would listen to every day, and now it's not there. So a big void, a big void.
Colton Weens, CTV News, Kitchener.
And as Colton mentioned, 570 wasn't the only station that was shuttered. 5 others in Vancouver, Calgary, and Halifax also went silent. This was part of broader cuts by Rogers that saw more than 200 jobs lost in total yesterday. The news station closures, though, prompting questions about what the move means for local journalism. Let's bring in CTV's Alexandra Hollick now with more on that side of the story. Alexandra.
Tony, the closures of these radio stations aren't only a loss for their communities, but for the industry as a whole, one that continues to see cuts threatening truth, accountability, and even democracy. When a community voice is taken off the air, the silence is deafening.
It just means there's one less reliable source of local news,
leaving listeners in limbo.
It creates more space for mis and disinformation. So there's just more stuff out there that you don't know if you can believe or not.
April Lindgren is the co-director of the Local News Research Project out of Toronto Metropolitan University. She says newsroom closures have been on the rise for years, the carnage spreading to the broadcast sector.
Between the decline in listenership and the decline in advertising, it creates real problems on the business model side for commercial radio.
According to Lindgren's research, since 2008, more than 600 local news outlets closed in nearly 400 communities across the country. That excludes the acts at Rogers Sports and Media Tuesday that saw 6 stations shuttered and a total of 230 jobs cut. From community events to construction to major council decisions,
there's fewer places for people to go and find out what's happening.
Lindgren says less local news can also pose more challenges to local democracy.
The more pesky reporters you have around, the more pesky questions get asked. And it holds elected officials more to account.
And reduces opportunities for the next generation.
It just eliminates the training ground for young local journalists.
As for the future of the industry, Lindgren says it's not all bleak, but action must be taken by community newsrooms and communities themselves.
Put your money where your mouth is and support local journalism that matters in your community.
Lindgren says newsrooms should also focus on stories that matter to the communities they cover and cement themselves as essential infrastructure in order to survive. Tony.
Alexandra, thank you. CTV's Alexandra Hollick reporting. Durham Regional Police have identified the recruit who was killed in yesterday's crash near Aylmer. Officers lined the street this afternoon as the body of 27-year-old Tyrone Magbatang was transported to the coroner's office. A statement from Durham Police says Magbatang joined the service as a special constable in 2023 and was selected. We have more now in this report from Aylmer.
Annette Verstegen lays a vase of flowers at the site where a Durham Regional Police recruit was killed in a collision with a transport truck. He has been identified as 27-year-old Tyrone Magbatang. His passenger, also a recruit with the Durham Regional Police Service, was critically injured. The pair were traveling to the Ontario Police College near Aylmer when the crash occurred at the intersection of Imperial Road and College Line. Multiple neighbors tell CTV News they heard the collision, with one witness describing life-saving efforts. Verstegen, who arrived home within a half hour of the crash, spoke briefly with the truck driver.
He said he didn't have anywhere to go. It was just quick and there was nowhere for him to go.
The Ministry of the Solicitor General, which manages the Ontario Police College, spoke directly through the Solicitor General. Michael Kersner stated the province stands in grief and support with those affected by the tragic loss. The Aylmer Police Service echoes those comments. It has a close relationship with the OPC.
If they need something, we're in their backyard and vice versa, so it's a place that's very near and dear to us.
That relationship made it even more challenging for Aylmer officers as they responded to the scene to assist the OPP.
While you may not know the person specifically, obviously the policing community and just seeing the policing clothing on someone and just kind of knowing that they're in that field and in that line of work certainly hits home for the officers that responded.
The tragedy also renews the call for change on Imperial Road. On Wednesday, just as emergency crews raced to the scene of another minor crash, only one line away from the fatal crash scene, residents said it's time for steps to be taken to reduce the frequency of collisions.
There's been so many, it's hard to give an exact number.
Maybe some roundabouts to control the speed and to make some of these intersections a little more safer.
But future measures still can't take away present pain.
It's nothing more than a shame, and it's certainly a tragedy.
Near Aylmer, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
It's been 1,000 days since the RCMP launched an investigation into the Ford government's Greenbelt scandal. The NDP marked the occasion as the probe continues into whether developers were tipped off about the province's plan to remove land from the protected area. CTV's Siobhan Morris has details.
You can really fit 1,000 candles.
1,000 to mark the number of days so far in an RCMP investigation into the Greenbelt. The probe launched in October 2023, looking into whether developers may have been tipped off. Land was about to be taken out of the protected zone.
Ontarians have been waiting for the results of this investigation because they need to know what happened. They need to know if they can trust Doug Ford.
The Premier apologized and returned land to the Greenbelt, but only after months of public pressure. 2 damning reports from Queen's Park watchdogs, and the departure of 2 cabinet ministers and 2 staffers. The government has said they're cooperating with the Mounties.
Every agency that's ever asked, it's all been transparent. We've given them everything they need.
Today, the RCMP says their sensitive and international investigations unit is still conducting an investigation. A spokesperson adds they won't be sharing more information so as not to compromise that work. That clampdown makes sense to this former Toronto police detective.
This investigation could have potentially dramatic impact on the government and on the people of the province of Ontario. So it's incumbent on the RCMP to make sure they get it right the first time.
Mendelson explains this investigation is complicated, multi-layered, with people inside and outside Queen's Park to look at.
You have government-issued cell phones, you have privately used cell phones, all of these things in terms of extracting information from them take time because not everybody's giving them up voluntarily.
The Premier has tried to push past the scandal and refocus on the economy.
That's something that happened years ago. That doesn't even show up on our radar on polling.
His track record since then shows that he has learned nothing at all.
With opposition parties drawing connections between the Greenbelt and the Skills Development Fund, Science Centre shut down, and push to expand Toronto's Island Airport.
It's all the usual suspects. They know the government. They're friends of the government. They donate to the PC party.
An Integrity Commissioner's report on distribution of Skills Development Fund cash is expected in the coming months. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Coming up later on CTV News, honoring the life of a beloved teacher lost far too soon. CTV's Karis Mapp tells us how a tragedy has touched a community and turned into an outpouring of love.
I'm Heather Centerman. The Region of Waterloo unlocked new water capacity, and now Council wants to fast-track some measures to get development flowing. That story is just ahead.
Get your umbrellas ready because rain is on the horizon. I'll have those details with your full weather forecast coming up. Stay with us.
One day after the Region of Waterloo announced its plan to get more water flowing for stalled developments, councils decided to fast-track some other measures related to the water capacity crisis, though it didn't come without some debate over money and public oversight. CTV's Heather Centerman was following this meeting today and joins us live with more details. So, Heather, one of these decisions essentially cuts some red tape for the next year or so.
It gives the region's CAO the green light to skip the competitive procurement process so pro-water projects can go ahead faster. And another motion looks to a study to speed up two major water-related projects. The Region of Waterloo has managed to tap into some immediate relief when it comes to water capacity concerns.
We've been able to unlock another 10 liters per second of water that's already being able to be used. Effective essentially as soon as those plans go through the service agreements with the area municipalities.
Wednesday's special council meeting was all about the next steps. One motion approved will give the region's CAO the authority to bypass standard public bidding to hire contractors faster for water capacity supporting projects. One councillor warning sole sourcing could be seen as controversial.
Do you have a competitive bid, or do you just pick the person or the organization or the company? So I wanted to raise that to be like, there is a process that could have bias in it when we go to sole sourcing.
The delegated authority was originally set to expire at the end of 2028 before pushback to let the next council decide what to do sooner.
I'm satisfied with the way that council did go in the end, which was to move the date to June 2027.
Another motion approved is to see if two major water treatment plants can be built 2 years ahead of schedule.
To help council understand whether these projects are actually ready to proceed, what the financial implications might be, what risks and benefits could be involved, and what decisions would be required if an acceleration is possible.
Cautious optimism seems to be the theme.
There's a fine balance between needing to move quickly, but also needing to be prudent. And I think affordability is a huge key that we really need to consider here, of affordability of our residents, especially because water and wastewater is not the only thing that we pay for as a regional tax base.
Regional Chair Karen Redmond ensuring financial implications are always top of mind.
I am not in any way complacent about going to other levels of government to ask for funding.
Giving the green light to keep things flowing as smoothly as possible moving forward.
We have used an urgent lens at looking at solving a problem that needed to be dealt with immediately. That all came at a cost.
Those two major projects are the Maple Grove Water Treatment Plant and the Cambridge Booster Pumping Station. The feasibility study will come back to council by the end of August. If approved, design and construction could start as early at the end of this year. Tony.
Okay, Heather, thank you. CTV's Heather Centerman with the latest on those water decisions. In Wellington County, a crash south of Mount Forest this morning left a driver from Moorfield dead. Police say a vehicle hit a hydro pole along Side Road 5 West between Concession 9 and Highway 6 at around 1 o'clock in the morning. The driver, a 72-year-old, suffered serious injuries and was pronounced dead at the scene. A passenger was transported to a local hospital, then airlifted to a trauma center. The cause is still under investigation. The director of a Toronto charity who was labeled a belligerent female by a police officer during a traffic stop last year has fought her tickets and won. A video she uncovered shows she did not run a stop sign, and it raises questions about the behavior of the ticketing officer. CTV's John Woodward reports.
My camera's on. This is Toronto police footage that shows an officer pulling Vashti Anderson over last year. I saw you look once, and you came right through the stop sign.
No, I looked, I stopped.
But Anderson, a 62-year-old executive director of a Toronto charity, was certain she stopped.
I was surprised because I knew then that I didn't do anything wrong.
She'd left her driver's license at home, something the officer was going to give her a break on.
So I'm going to be very nice here.
But that mercy disappeared when she kept standing her ground.
You're already getting a ticket no matter what for that.
I looked.
Okay, ma'am.
I was at the stop sign.
Ma'am, listen to me.
I was unable.
Okay, I'm going to get you all the tickets. No problem. You're getting all the tickets.
3 tickets in total, running the stop sign, no license and no insurance, even though you can see her showing that slip in the video. Anderson didn't want to have to pay $285 and have all of that on her driving record, so she started looking for evidence. Discovering this surveillance video from a nearby church. That's her sedan right there, and you can see it stops.
I decided, okay, I'm going to go to court because I'm not going to pay the tickets for something that I honestly didn't do. I wasn't guilty of.
Anderson went further, requesting videos and records from the Toronto police. Their in-car video shows the same thing. She stops. What she wasn't expecting, to see this in the officer's notes, calling her a female belligerent.
When I saw the word belligerent female, that blew my mind. That tells me the kind of police officer I was dealing with. It tells me that he has bias.
She presented all this to traffic court. The charges were dropped, but not without several paperwork problems. Among them, the Law Enforcement Complaints Agency dismissed her concerns in a letter that said she faced criminal proceedings, which is false.
It seems to me this is dead wrong.
Former Toronto Mayor John Sewell says Anderson should never have gone through any of this.
She is clearly not belligerent. It's the officer who's being belligerent.
Toronto police have had body camera videos for 5 years now, providing evidence in many cases, but it's also an accountability tool. And if you listen to it closely, you can hear the officer describe what might be another reason he pulled Anderson over.
That's fine. I was coming behind you and you cut me off.
A Toronto Police Service spokesperson said her complaint is now being investigated, saying we expect our officers to enforce the law fairly, act professionally, and treat all members of the public with dignity and respect. Where concerns are raised about an officer's conduct, there are established processes in place to ensure those concerns are reviewed and assessed appropriately.
I truly want accountability.
As for Anderson, she now wears the female belligerent label with pride. If she hadn't stuck to her guns, she might never have gotten this video that shows she was in the right all along. John Woodward, CTV News.
Well, here's a live look outside at the Galt Country Club tonight. It is a hot Wednesday evening, feeling like the mid-30s with the humidity right now. That water looking very refreshing this evening. Ashley's back in just a couple of moments to tell us what's expected through the rest of this week with our weather. And also coming up, NATO talks in Turkey wrap up. Prime Minister Carney and President Trump all finished at that summit now. Some are calling it a surprising review that the U.S. president came out with, though. Details on that next. We are back with Ashley. It's Wednesday already. How did we get to the middle of the week so quickly?
It's just because it's so beautiful. Summer flies by, Tony, unfortunately.
And yeah, that's another story, which is very sad right now. But we had a very, very decent start to the week. Fairly calm conditions, pretty good temperatures.
Yes.
No complaints. And I think tonight might be the winner for this week so far.
Up until the weekend, I would say you're right. It's looking like a beautiful weekend ahead, but today was definitely the hottest day we have felt since Monday, and it's still looking quite beautiful out there. Let's take another look out at Galt tonight. Check that out. Hardly a breeze, nice and sunny skies, a few clouds here and there, but overall conditions picture perfect for an evening outside. I mean, I know as soon as I get out of here tonight, I'm going for a nice long walk, and I know Tony likes an evening walk too. It is perfect conditions to get out there and enjoy it, because as I mentioned earlier, it looks like we could see some rain come tomorrow. Let's get into our future cast, and this will help paint the picture for us. Right now, seeing nice clear skies over Waterloo region. Now through the overnight hours, we're going to start to see some cloud cover and spotty showers, and then by tomorrow morning, some showers are expected to start moving through the region. Now that's going to continue throughout your Thursday evening, and then into Friday morning. But as I said, the good news is Saturday and Sunday shaping up to be absolutely beautiful. Right now across the country, things are looking pretty great. 22 in Vancouver, Prince George 17, a little bit of rain in Fort McMurray, and 22. It's also thunder showers in Calgary, so everyone at the Stampede celebrating hopefully is still okay. 24 in Saskatoon with a mix of sun and cloud. Thompson is 23. I almost said 23 and Thompson in the same word. Thompson is 23 with a mix of sun and cloud. As we push further east, 31 in Ottawa. Montreal seeing a little bit of rain this hour, and 30, so still quite hot, and even warmer in the East Coast. So 22 in St. John's this hour. Very hot conditions, very sunny as well. Halifax, a very nice afternoon, evening, 18 degrees there. Right now, we're sitting at 29 in Waterloo region, London and Hamilton. Closer, though, with the humidity to 34 here. So it is a little bit warmer with the humidity, but overall not too bad, especially compared to what we felt last week. Overnight tonight, 18 is the expected low, so slightly warmer than we felt over the last few nights, but still below 20, so still could be a nice night to open your windows up and let some fresh air in. Tomorrow, temperatures expected to reach around 26 degrees, feeling closer to 34 with the humidity, and as we mentioned, we could see the thunderstorm here and there pop up through the afternoon especially, so make sure you have those umbrellas handy just in case. As we take a look at our records, back in 1936, 37.2 was the daytime high record set, so by comparison, 30 today, not quite as hot, but definitely hot enough, I think. And as we take a look at our 7-day forecast, as I mentioned Friday, that rain starts to taper off, and check out those weekend temperatures, Tony. Sunshine, 26 for Saturday, and 27 on Sunday. Love to see it. In Lambton, Kent, Essex, you'll see similar conditions, slightly warmer there though. 29 with a chance for an afternoon thunderstorm tomorrow, 27 in showers on Friday, and then a beautiful sunny weekend ahead, 28 for Saturday, 29 on Sunday. And lastly, in southern Georgian Bay, you could also see a thunderstorm tomorrow, 27 the expected daytime high, a risk of showers on your Friday, and 26, but then that weekend, it's shaping up to be a gorgeous, gorgeous July weekend. 26 and sunny, Saturday, 27 on Sunday. Okay, let's take a look at today's Weather Watcher picture snapped by Dave, who did this during his morning bike ride between Milverton and Waterloo just this morning. I can almost hear that picture, Tony. You know those summer
What are you
sound,
hearing in it?
I think they're called cicadas, the little bugs.
Yes.
I see that picture and I feel like I could almost hear it, and it's just beautiful.
The little bugs that sound like power lines sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
it is.
Exactly right.
It's a nice part of the landscape when they're not overpowering.
Absolutely, and it's a very summer morning photo.
It is.
So thank you for sharing.
And it's a time of day that you enjoy very often.
I do
those
like
sunrises.
that time of day.
Yep.
You got it.
All right, thanks, Ash.
Thanks, Tony.
World leaders, including Prime Minister Mark Carney, have wrapped up 2 days of talks in Turkey. U.S. President Donald Trump is calling the NATO summit a success, adding that there was tremendous love and unity in the room. It's an unexpected bit of praise from the U.S. president, who's usually not been a fan of the alliance. CTV's Graham Richardson has more from Ankara.
Even as Canada reviews how many American F-35s it will buy, it's getting ready to arm the jets. An $800 million contract to a German firm for joint strike missiles on the F-35s. Part of Canada's boost to defense spending.
The capacities are being built, and you've seen recent announcements. There's more announcements today from Canada in terms of our procurement.
From Canada, it's new submarines, surveillance aircraft like GlobalEye, and the fighter jets, all boosting spending as Americans have demanded for many years. Carney says U.S. President Donald Trump is pushing NATO to change.
It's not just he's winning the argument, he's won the argument. Countries recognize that they need to take more responsibility, see the direct threats.
In the space of just a few hours, Donald Trump blasted Spain, threatening to cut off all trade with the United States.
Spain is a wasted cause. We don't want to do any trade business with Spain anymore.
A short time later, it was all about unity with NATO allies.
The unity in that room was incredible. Really a love. It was sort of pretty wild.
NATO's Secretary General has demanded a clear and credible plan for allies to spend 5% of GDP on defense by 2035. He also credits the American shift.
President Trump has been able to finally get done what since Eisenhower American presidents tried to do, which was to equalize defense spending between Europe and the United States.
Carney insists Canada is well on its way.
By the NATO definition, before the end of this decade, we are spending 4%.
So as NATO grapples with Donald Trump's mood, the hard part will be trying to fill the gap the Americans are leading. NATO and Canada say that's what all this spending is about, and they're up to the task. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Ankara.
The first Chinese EVs arriving under a new deal roll into Canada. Just ahead, a new chapter in international trade that hasn't started without some controversy. The first Chinese EVs are starting to hit the roads in Canada since Prime Minister Carney struck a deal with China earlier this year. About 2,900 have been imported so far. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver is in Montreal getting a look at some of them that are now available.
There's a new player in Canada's electric vehicle space. The Lotus Electra, a high-end luxury SUV made in Wuhan, China, has officially hit Canadian roads, and it starts at $119,000.
So we are expecting now that when they finally see the car at the dealership and also on the street, our customer will really start loving it.
This is the first kind of Chinese-made EV for sale under a new agreement that will allow up to 49,000 Chinese-made EVs into Canada, essentially tariff-free. Experts say these more expensive models offer companies higher profit margins to test out and establish themselves in the Canadian market.
At the start, they're going to come with a little bit more expensive models, but eventually they'll bring in affordable models, which should bring the price of cars overall for vehicles down in this country.
So far, 2,910 Chinese electric vehicles like this fully loaded top-of-the-line Lotus Electric EV have already been imported to Canada, and a handful of this model have already been sold. But the Chinese EVs have faced pushback and even calls for the cars to be banned from sensitive sites like military bases. Many experts have privacy and national security concerns about the kind of data the cars can collect and potentially share with the Chinese government.
All cars are computers on wheels, and they're massive computing devices. And by law in China, this state has access to that data. It doesn't mean they will access the data, but it means they can should they choose to.
The CEO of Lotus Group Americas says the cars comply with all government rules and regulations.
We disclosed to the government everything that is related on our software, everything that related on our hardware, and we pass all the examination.
If you can't afford one of these luxury EVs, more affordable options will soon be on the market. The Prime Minister wants half of all Chinese EVs imported into Canada to cost less than $35,000 by 2030. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Montreal.
Okay, time now to look at our top stories. Welcoming CTV's Leanne Evans back to the studio with us. And we're going to start with some new details on an ongoing legal saga that we've been following.
Yeah, between the Region of Waterloo and residents of the Encampment at Victoria and Weber Street. Court documents now outline how the region plans to argue that the judge made a mistake in a recent ruling that prevented them from clearing the site. This is a process that will likely take several months to play out. Community members are expressing how they feel about the loss of 570 News Radio today. It comes just one day after the fixture on the radio airwaves in Waterloo region suddenly went silent. Kitchener Mayor Barry Vibranovic saying he's sad, angry, and betrayed by the decision. Rogers says the closure was made due to declining audience numbers and revenue trends.
And from our digital team on the website tonight, Leanne, new details on something a lot of people who spend a lot of time outside have been paying very close attention to: campgrounds, lakes, cottages, and that is the growing tick population this season.
Yeah, and these numbers are a little bit startling. Last year in Wellington, Dufferin, Guelph, 11 sites were surveyed for ticks and 18 ticks were found. Well, this year, a drastic difference. Only 2 sites were surveyed in the area and 170 ticks were found. For more information, you can watch my full interview with Dr. Nicola Mercer, the medical officer of health in Wellington, Dufferin, Guelph, over on our website. Scan the QR code, download the CTV News app, or go to CTV News Kitchener.ca. Tony.
Yeah, lots of heads up about that, and now we've got the data to tell us why. Is certainly something to keep in mind when spending time outside.
Yeah, exactly. You
All
got
right,
it.
Leanne, thanks so much.
Thank you.
The sudden loss of a young mother and special needs professional in Stratford is being felt by many whose lives she touched. CTV's Karis Mapp tells us how friends and family are working to keep her memory alive.
I couldn't believe it, to be honest. I think we were all in shock.
Friends and family of Jessica Rudock-Clausen are still processing that she's gone. Remembered for her sense of humor and ability to light up a room, the 42-year-old died suddenly on July 1st.
She didn't suffer in any way, which we were all really happy about. So we're thankful for that.
She had been swimming with her son and collapsed after getting out of the water while still holding him.
It's horrible when anybody passes, but especially at this young, leaving 3 kids behind and a husband.
3 kids under the age of 7 and a husband who's been by her side since they were 18 years old.
It's unbelievable. It's a massive loss in all of our lives, and especially Adam. Adam only knows Jess. That's all he knows in his whole world.
Her impact also largely felt by staff and students she worked with at Anne Hathaway Public School in Stratford.
A lot of her work was with students with special needs. In particular, this past year, she worked with a student with autism, and that student, largely nonverbal, had great difficulties managing his school day, and Jessica helped support him where he was able to start communicating kind of his needs and his wants and really navigate his school day without any behavioral issues.
Summer vacation only recently began, but mental health supports for students and staff are already planned for September.
That's going to trigger another wave of emotion, not having her there, not having her be part of the team.
Emotions many people in Stratford are already battling.
Jess played baseball. She was also, I believe, the president of her local daycare. She did so much for everybody.
A GoFundMe was created to help support the family, as well as a Facebook group filled with photos for her children.
As we get older, we'll be explaining the memory of Jess and who she was to them, and using those images in that Facebook group to really help us do that.
Not only was she an excellent staff member, she really was a wonderful human being.
Karis Mapp, CTV News, Stratford.
Ramping up production of life-saving medical devices off the shores of Lake Huron. Coming up, a visit to Bruce Power's expanding isotope production center. Bruce Power says it's rapidly expanding its production of medical isotopes. It's not the primary purpose of a nuclear energy facility, but it's becoming an increasingly significant aspect of their day-to-day operations. CTV's Scott Miller went inside for a look.
24 hours a day, Bruce Power is covering about 30% of Ontario's electricity needs. But on an almost weekly basis, they may be doing something even more important.
It's quite a feeling to be able to produce a product. It's a cancer-fighting product. We also like to say that we produce hope here as well.
For 35 years, Bruce Power has been carefully inserting aluminum targets like these into their nuclear reactors to become irradiated and transformed into medical isotopes. In the late 80s, they started producing cobalt-60 used to sterilize medical equipment.
We would easily be a third of the world's cobalt-60, so very large. When you look at Canada, between Bruce and Pickering, we're easily 70–80% of the world's cobalt-60.
40% of the world's single-use medical equipment is now sterilized by cobalt-60 produced at the Kincardine Area Nuclear Plant. Seeing a worldwide shortage looming a few years ago, Bruce Power decided to start producing another kind of medical isotope called lutetium-177. It's used to treat prostate cancer, with 200 clinical trials underway to expand its use for lung and breast cancer as well. Bruce Power is the first and only commercial nuclear facility in the world producing lutetium.
Typically, short-lived medical isotopes were made with research reactors that didn't have the same degree of reliability or the long life that these units do. So we've really changed the game.
Since 2022, when they started, Bruce Power has twice doubled their production capability of lutetium, now producing about 1/3 of the world's supply of the cancer-fighting medical isotope.
And hopefully things continue to expand from there.
Currently, the isotopes harvested from Bruce Power's reactors are shipped to Germany for final processing, but that will change soon, as at least some isotope processing will happen right at the Bruce Power site with the introduction of a hot cell facility, a way to at least partly repatriate isotope production.
This is a strategic component to, I think, long-term energy security around the world. We cannot let medical isotopes be a geopolitical weapon.
Skoniak says it costs about $200 million to build and implement Bruce Power's entire isotope production system. A drop in the bucket, considering a single nuclear reactor costs upwards of $10 billion to build.
I always say that isotopes may only be 1% of our cash flow, but they're 50% of the contribution we make.
In Bruce County, Scott Miller, CTV News.
All right, we'll have more news coming up in just a moment. First, let's check in once again over at the weather wall with Ashley.
Well, from sunshine to sun showers, we might see it all tomorrow. I'll have a breakdown of what we can expect first thing in the morning after this. Here's what's coming up on CTV. E-Talk at 7, followed by back-to-back-to-back Bang Theory, The Rainmaker at 9, and then the rebuild inside the Montreal Canadiens at 10.
KW's Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Listen all summer for your chance to win. Turn the lights off, carry me home. With Bounce to your backyard.
Okay, Leanne's here now with a couple of more stories our newsroom's keeping an eye on. Leanne.
Well, Tony, regional police are warning people about a taxi scam after multiple reports of potential fraud attempts in Waterloo's University District. We have more details on how that scam worked over on our website. We're also following a big drug bust in Brantford, where police say they seized over 1,500 grams of cocaine, multiple cell phones, drug packaging materials, a digital scale, and cash. A 52-year-old Brantford man has been arrested in that investigation. Tony.
Okay, Leanne, appreciate it. Thank you so much. And over to Ashley now for a look at our wake-up weather for Thursday, when it all comes to an end this week, at least as far as these days without rain.
Right. I mean, we've had such beautiful hot weather. We do need a little bit of rain, Tony.
Yep.
Everyone's gardens, I'm sure, will be very grateful for a little bit of rain, but it's not going to be a lot. We don't expect a significant downpour, but let's have a look at what we're expecting tomorrow morning. So first thing in the morning, it's actually going to be a stunning start to the day, mainly sunny and 25 by 10 a.m. So pretty much where we need to be temperature-wise by 10 a.m., but then the rain is supposed to come through around noon. But you know how these things go in the summer. A little bit of wind in the wrong direction and it misses us.
It's so true. And somebody just, 30 minutes away from us gets a soaking. So
exactly.
We'll keep our eye on the sky this week.
And that's why you need to keep your sunscreen and your umbrella, just in case.
Could need them both in the same hour.
Exactly.
All right, well, finally for us tonight, a trailblazer hanging up her helmet after more than 3 decades of service.
Cambridge's first female firefighter is retiring, wrapping up a career that helped pave the way for generations of women in the profession. CTV's Spencer Turcotte has her story.
When Kelly Willems walked into the Cambridge Fire Department for her first shift 35 years ago, she wasn't just starting a career, she was making history.
I got hired July 1st of 1991, and I was the only woman on the department at that time. It was a pretty big adjustment for everyone.
In fact, the former heavy equipment operator and truck driver became the city's first female firefighter. After spending years working in male-dominated fields, she didn't think much of it, but suddenly found herself in the spotlight.
I didn't expect it to be such a big deal. I didn't expect to be so visible when I got hired.
While many firefighters supported her from day one, times were different then. Some questioned whether a woman belonged in the service.
Some of the guys were great, very helpful, very welcoming. Some of them were skeptical, didn't think it was the best job for a woman.
But from the very beginning, Willems always wanted to be treated as an equal, even speaking out in 1999, urging the province not to lower testing standards for female firefighters.
I don't feel that the girls are any different and should be singled out. We do the same job. We should be treated the same.
Over time, she earned the respect she deserved. Her experience operating heavy equipment made her a natural behind the wheel of a fire truck. And her colleagues say they always felt she had things under control.
You always knew you were getting to the scene, never an issue with getting water, getting the ladder up. You could always count on her.
Just 2 years after she was hired, another woman joined the department. Today, there are many more, and her fellow firefighters say that's no coincidence.
She forged her own path, showing that they could do it. Every time we come on, there's more women more interested.
As she leaves her firefighting career behind and settles into retirement, she's preparing the next generation of female firefighters.
I have 2 daughters at home. One daughter went to college for firefighting, and Kelly helped answer any questions that she had and was very supportive.
A sign that even after 35 years of putting out fires, the trail she blazed for women in the field will keep burning long after she's gone. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Cambridge.
Incredible story.
Wow.
Incredible storytelling by Spencer.
Yes.
Congratulations to Kelly. Yes. And the other thing I was going to note is that I love when we can tell a story and use our own CKCO News archives to take you back to that moment in the 90s.
Incredible career, and best of luck in your retirement. Enjoy.
That's our time. We'll see you tonight at 11:30. Take care.